Okay, now I will continue with the introduction. Shotcrete is a method of applying concrete project at high velocity primarily on to a vertical or overhead surface. The impact created by the application consolidate the concrete. Although the hardened properties of shotcrete are similar to those of conventional cast-in-place concrete, the nature of the placement process results in an excellent bond with most substrate and rapid or instant capabilities, particularly on complex form or shape. The shotcrete process requires less formwork and can be more economical than conventionally placed concrete. Shotcrete is applied using a wet or dry mix process. The wet mix shotcrete process mix all ingredients including water before introduction into the delivery hose. The dry mix shotcrete process add water to the mix at the nozzle. Shotcrete is used in new construction and repair, and it is suitable for curved and thin element. Shotcrete, then known as Unite, and was invented in 1907 by American named taxidermist called Ackley. He invented this shotcrete to repair the crumbling facade of the Field Columbian Museum in Chicago. Shotcrete is commonly used to line tunnel wall in mines, subways, and automobile tunnels.
Okay, next I would like to present about the ingredients of shotcrete. Number 1 is aggregate. Sand and gravel component constitute approximately 75% of the shotcrete weight and 65% of its volume. Its geological composition has a huge influence on the workability and hardened concrete properties. Number 2 is cement and water. The water-cement relation, corresponding to the mass of the water divided by the total mass of the binder content in the mixture, is important for the durability of the shotcrete. The water-cement relation is generally comprised between 0.4 and 0.5. Number 3 is supplemental fine material additive. Slag, flow ash, and silica fume are used for the shotcrete to fulfill different aims. First, to complement the fine balance of equal and smallest than 0.125 mm. Second, to improve durability properties to increase the water retention capacity. And third is to reduce the pumping pressure during the application. Number 4 is fiber reinforced spray concrete. Spray concrete can be reinforced with synthetic or steel fiber, generally used for rope support in underground mining and the stabilization of slopes. It can also substitute the use of wire mesh. Number 5 is chemical additive. One of the chemical additives is accelerators. Accelerate the hardening of the mix and the development of early strands. In contrast to the other additive, accelerators are added to the mixture immediately before the application. The next chemical additive are plasticizers and superplasticizers, which is to increase the fluidity of the mix without resisting its loss. Then chemical additives are retardants, controller of hydration, that are required for maintaining the fluidity of the concrete during transport. Another chemical additive is stabilizers of mixture that increase the external cohesion of the particle. thereby preventing its segregation to ensure the pumpability of the mixture. Okay. Then we go to the properties. Number one is fluidity. The fluidity or consistency of the fresh concrete refers to its capability of deformation. It is affected by the ambient temperature, grain size, form, and type of the aggregate used. Adequate fluidity helps to minimize pulsation of the concrete pump to obtain the depression of accelerators and fiber and to secure adhesion to the substrate. The concrete slump test is used to measure the fluidity of the mix on site. Number two is early stress development. For the stabilization of underground excavation, a minimum stress development is often required within the first hour after spraying. There are different methods to measure early stress. One of the methods is extraction of test panel for strength from 10 megapascal. The next method is needle penetration method, which an internal of 0.2 to 1.2 megapascal. And the last method is driving in of nail, which an interval of 3 to 60 megapascal. Third is compressive strength. Compressive strength is referred to the resistance of the hardened concrete to axial compression. The most appropriate method to measuring compressive strength is extracting sample of the concrete directly on site or from a test production panel. And the last one is durability. Capability of the spray concrete to resist the aggressive influences of the environment it is exposed to. The durability is mainly influenced by the water simulation of the mix. Other elements that have an impact are the aggregates, the semi-material hardening accelerators, and the curing of the spray concrete. So, okay, that's all from me. Then we go to the next presenter.
Okay, now I will talk about the material to process and procedure. The material to make shotcrete is cement, such as Portland slag cement or Portland pozzolana cement. Second, fine aggregate. Third, coarse aggregate, 10 millimeter size. Water, that a water cement ratio of 0.4 to 0.5. And lastly, reinforcement, such as reinforcing bar or welded wire fabric. Okay, equipment and tools. First one is batching and mixing equipment. Delivery equipment like shotcrete gun, nozzle and pump. Air supply arrangement, hose pipe and water supply arrangement. Okay, now we continue with the procedure. First, thoroughly clean all surface to receive shotcrete by removing loose material and dust and pressure washing. Dampen the surface to a saturated surface dry condition. Second is fixed wire mesh to the concrete surface. The steel wire mesh has to be placed in position, keeping the mesh within 10 to 15 mm from the surface. Suitable fixing pins are to be inserted to keep the mesh in proper position and to ensure that the well mesh is not disturbed during concrete spray. Third is prepare a cement water mix. Pour this mix into pump hose for lubrication before starting to pump the production mixture. Next is when the pump mixture reaches the nozzle, turn on the compressed air. Next, apply shotcrete evenly to targeted surface. build up the desired thickness of shotcrete in layers about 30 mm thick each. The presence of void can be found by hollow hammering sound after the shotcrete has attained strength after around 3 days. Lastly, clean all the discharge line with a throat water flush.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. From our group project, we can find out how to use and the use of the shotcrete. Firstly, shotcrete is a method of applying concrete project at high velocity primarily onto a vertical or overhead surface. The shotcrete method also requires less shaping and can be more economical than concrete that is conventionally mounted. We also found shotcrete is applied using a process of wet or dry mix. For the wet mix shotcrete process, they mix all ingredients including water before introduction into the delivery hose. But for the dry mix shotcrete process, they add water to the mix at the nozzle. Basically, shotcrete is used in new construction and repairs, and it's suitable for curved and thin elements. It is also applied over a system reinforcement bars and steel mesh for structural application. For suggestion, we recommend that shotcrete be used more widely, especially in construction. It will make the construction and repair work more easier because shotcrete is sprayed into place. This means even those areas which are hard to reach can have shotcrete applied. Shotcrete also can stabilize the surface, especially on slope areas.
As a conclusion, shotcrete is very important part in construction to make a construction to be stronger. Contractor that want to build shotcrete must extremely careful in the process of making because construction with a bad shotcrete are extremely dangerous. Shotcrete also give others benefit as well, such as make the construction and repair work easier. Eventually, we must teach about shotcrete to younger generation at young age so that younger generation will know about the importance of shotcrete toward building. So, by this project that we have done, it shows that shotcrete should be used widely into the construction work as it can give many benefits in the construction. That's all from us. Thank you.